Okay, hi, I'm Debbie Chronister. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how I created my October stamp camp. So I'm going to spotlight this and we'll get started on creating these cute cards and projects. As soon as my mouse finds it. Okay. I am joined today by Janet Kretz and Jan Arnie and Mary Prenderville. So the three of us are going to work on putting our cards together. And if someone else joins us, we'll let them in. We're on Zoom. And so we're going to be working on these projects. So our first card is this really cute card. It's called Frightfully Cute. And we're not going to do the inside witch, okay, but we're going to do the rest. So that way, if you want to stamp something there that you have, you can go ahead and do that. So we're going to start with cutting our designer series paper. So you will need a paper trimmer and your designer series paper. And so I pulled out the one with the boo and the stripe, the black stripe, the gray stripe, I guess it is. And let's see where mine is. It's going to be the hardest part. I should have pulled these out ahead of time, huh? Finding those. Oops. Grab something else here. Let's see. I'm hoping there's my boo. The boo has the little ghost on the other side. And then the gray stripe. I wonder if I've used all my gray stripe. Nope, there it is. It has, so guys, the paper is colored on one side and black and white on the other side, just so you know. Okay, so we're going to get the gray stripe. Okay, so the boo, we're going to cut at, oh, I didn't pull out the third one. Okay, the third one is the dotted, this one, the polka dots that are multicolored, orange and green and purple. Okay, so you're going to cut those at, I'm going to refer to my paper here. Instruction sheet. So there is a PDF instruction sheet that goes along with this. Okay, so the boo is cut. We need two of those, and they're cut at 3/4 by 3 7/8. So I'm going to cut my 3 7/8 first. And just make sure your boo is going this direction, your long direction. So that's going to be the 3 7/8 side, and then this is 3/4. And you need two of those. Okay, and then next we're going to cut the dotted one, and that's going to be cut at 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay, and then our last piece is going to be cut at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. It's 2 3/4. The nice thing is it doesn't matter which direction you cut it, it's a square. Okay, so those are our three pieces of designer series paper that we'll need for this. And then let me grab my card packet here. The designer series paper, those are the ones we're not using. Let's get some of this out of the way that I'm not using. Okay, and in your packet you have a piece of basic black, which is your card base. Let's make sure there's nothing else in there. You have a piece of white. Don't adhere your white yet. We're going to attach these first. So on these cards in your packet, one of them is 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 by 4. And I've scored. So there's a score line there where you'll need to fold that over on both of them. So find your score lines, fold it over. And then we're going to attach that to the back of our white before we attach it to our card base. So I'm going to attach it using green glue. And the largest one is going to go on the left. So I'm putting my glue on the inside of my fold because I'm going to attach it to the back of my white. And just flip that in there and just center it from top to bottom. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other one, and it's going to go, I mean, it went on the left. I'm sorry. I think I said it went on the right. It's going to go on the right, the smaller one. And just centering that as well, centering it both on the left one and on the paper, the full sheet. Get up here on screen. Okay. I have a glue blob on my fingers. Okay, then I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to attach this to my card base. This whole section gets attached. To the piece of basic black that's in your kit. Okay, just like that. Okay, this is really a quick and simple card when you think about it. Okay, then we have 2 pieces of the designer series paper that says Boo. We're going to attach that to right in here, one at the top and one at the bottom. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Guys, I'm not sure that this is recording. I'm not sure that I started it. Yes, I did. Yeah, okay. If it's not, guess what? Everybody else will be on their own. Okay, so just attach those 2. Then we're going to attach our designer series paper to the front 2 front flaps. A little different of a card style for us. So I'm putting my stripe on the right one and my dotted on the left. You could use the candy and make it all black and white. You could use any paper on here. Okay, and then I have cut out from the, what's the name of this? Sparkle of the Season bundle. This is one of the dies, and it has, it's great. They have 3 dies. One of them is Christmas, one of them is Thanksgiving, and this one is kind of Halloween. So I thought I will cut that out and attach that to the front of my card. And I'm going to use my tape runner for that. And I should have my silicone mat so that I don't get tape glue where I don't want it, huh? And I'm going to put, I put my this one little star, one of the stars, it's stuck to my fingers, one of the stars up at the top right. And then that way I've got this star showing and that star showing when I still put my tag in, because I'm going to put some bling on those stars. And let me grab my bling. I didn't pull it out. Cute. And this is the cute star sequin, and it's in your packet. You have a half a pack. That's how much comes. Quite a few stars coming in. Okay, so then I pulled off some of my orange stars and put those on. Let's grab one of my, take your pick tools. Grab one that has a red tip on it. Pull that apart. See if this one has anything left in it. I just pulled it apart, so I'm not sure it will work. I'm not sure if it has anything in it to start with. It might be an old one that I should have thrown in the trash. Okay, let's try it. Let's put it in here. That might help. I can't believe I don't have one with a tip on it already. But I don't. I have all my brush tips on. Okay, we will just use a piercer. How about that? That'll work. And I'm just going to pick up a couple of these little stars there. Yeah, it's easier with you take your pick tool, definitely. And I just put them right over top of that star. It's easier with my fingers. And then in your kit, there is a greeting. And you're just going to attach that greeting with a dimensional. I don't see my greeting. I think I've lost it already. It's, oh, there it is. It says Frightfully Cute, and it just gets attached right here with dimensional on one end only. If you attach on the other end, you've just shut your card. Oh, Linda Mapes. Linda's going to be joining us. Okay, mouse. My old screen, I would have just reached up there and touched that, and it would have, but my new screen is not a touch screen, unfortunately. So, hello, Linda. Okay, so this is card number 1, all done, and I'm going to adjust this. It looks like we could come out a little bit on this. Give you guys a little bit more. Give me a little bit more room to play with.
Can you hear that?
Okay, there we go. Okay, so that is card number 1. Really simple. You're just going to attach those to the back like wings. They get attached to the back of the white, not to the back of the card. And that way you have a nice smooth back of the card to go in your envelope. And there we are. How you guys doing?
Good.
Are we ready to move on to card number 2?
Sure.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
yes, okay, all right. Let me put that aside. Card number 2. Oh, is the little girl. Okay, so with the little girl, most of the cutting and scoring has been done for you. The instructions, the PDF instructions tell you how to do the cutting to prepare for doing this. I should have cut my little things ahead of time. But this is a really simple cut and score. So what you'll do is you'll cut your card like you normally would, like this. It's an 8.5 by 5.5. Score at 4 1/4, which is your center score line. But then you can see I have cut this, and the measurements are on your instructions on how I cut it. So if you want to make future cards. And then what I did is I scored from this top corner here to the bottom corner. So you should be able to see those score lines on your papers, on your card base. So you can crease those. And that's what makes for this card's uniqueness. Yeah. Gosh, did I crease them? Did I do them right? Yes. Scare myself. So you can score, I mean, fold each one of those on that score line. Just over to that corner. Just like that. Okay. All right, now let's go back and cut our designer series paper. So once again, grab your paper trimmer, and we're going to grab the striped, and the polka dot. So we want the pumpkin pie stripe, which is this one. And the black and white dotted, which is this one, which, oh, it's the same paper, guys. Okay, so you'll need 2 sheets of that. And you're going to end up with more than what you need probably. So more pieces when we're done, but we'll see. Yeah, we will. Okay, so the key to this is when you cut it diagonally, to cut it with the side facing up that you want. So you can see we're using the same on both, but you can't just flip it over. It doesn't work. So let's go ahead and get started. So you're going to cut this at 5 1/8 by 4. So your 4 is going to be this direction. So I'm going to just cut my whole sheet at 4 inches. Just cut that off. Now I want this, I want 3 pieces cut at, well, as many pieces I can get out of this, which is probably 3, maybe, no. 1 5/8. I said 5 1/8, didn't I? 1 5/8. So I'm going to cut as many pieces as I can out of this. So I need 1. Migraine's still getting my eyes. Okay, 5/8 right there. 2. And this one is another 1 5/8. Right there. So you'll get 3 out of a sheet. Okay. Then take the other sheet and just cut a 1 5/8 inch strip and then cut 4 inches off. That's probably less waste. 1 5/8. And 4. So you need 4 pieces at 1 5/8 by 4. Okay, now you're going to cut these with the side up that you are working on. So I'm going to work on the pumpkin pie side first. And I'm going to cut this from the top left corner. Let me look at my instructions. I figured this all out last night. From the top left to the bottom right. So the top left to the bottom right, that's where I'm going to cut. And I'm going to just put it on my cutting line here. And that's how it's going to get cut. Okay, so now I have the 2 pieces that I need. Just pull my card over. So I have these 2 of these pieces. 1, I just buried the other one. 2. Okay. So I need 1 more of those from the top left to the bottom right with the striped side facing up. Okay. So that is this final piece. But the bad part about it is I can't turn this over and use this for the other part. It doesn't work. So now we're going to turn the paper over and we're going to cut from the top left to the bottom right, just like we did before, but with the polka dotted side up. And now I ended up with the piece that fits in that area. So do that again, turn it over, make sure you turn it over so that the side you want is up, and go from the top left to the bottom right. And there it is. And now we have our pieces. Okay. The only thing left to do is to cut out your little hat and your little witch. And this is from retired paper from last year. I think I'll leave that for you guys to do later. We'll do the rest of the card and then you can do that later. So I'm going to fold this over and burnish it. Let me grab my bone folder. I don't know how I thought I could stamp without a bone folder, right? Okay, we're not finding any tools today. They're all in my card thing, but I can't find them. So, okay, so let's burnish that real good. And same with these. Let's do those really good. We have some nice crisp lines. Okay, there we are. Okay. All right, now let's attach our papers. So our designer series papers are here, and you're just going to attach this one here. They're close. So you can go ahead and attach those to the front. That one doesn't work on there. We decided this one. Okay, so see what happens if you cut it on. So this one's actually designed for there. Okay. Oops, that's the wrong one. Okay, so I just put that on the wrong side. Okay, I have extras. Good thing. Okay, this is going in here, right? And the thing is sometimes if you do it on the wrong side, you cannot flip it and put it on the other one, on the put it on the other, you know, just figure, oh, I'll use that for the pumpkin because it won't work. Let's pull those off. Okay. This one is going to go there. And this one is going to go there. And my last one is right here. So by cutting it, what I did is I cut it a quarter of an inch smaller, and then by cutting it diagonally, that gave me that little edge on both the top and the bottom. So it just gave me 1/8 of an inch. Okay, then on the inside, you have two pieces of, you have a piece of pumpkin pie and a piece of basic white. If you wanted to stamp a greeting on the basic white, you could. I did not. And I'm going to attach that to the inside of my card. Whoops, I was going to stick with that glue. So I'm just going to put this in here, centering it, sort of, right? Okay, then these little pumpkins were cut out from the Sparkle of the Season. So I've used those two sets, the Sparkle of the Season and Frightfully Cute, together. And so I'm going to attach a dimensional to the back of each of these. You should have 3 little pumpkins in your kit. Did you guys do okay on the paper cutting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, so now to attach these, I went through and I just put my little pumpkins, folded my paper down because these are going to be what kind of holds it when it comes down. So you just want them 3 little pumpkins in a row, just like that. There's number 1. This one is going to be number 2. And it's going to just kind of hold that up so that when my little witch comes out, she's standing up. So I just want it to, and really the top of that pumpkin is what holds it. Oops. I think I've over creased my, my card here. Yeah. That one goes right on there. And so that's nice because when you open it up, there's 3 little pumpkins in a row, which is really kind of cute. Okay, so then the next thing would be to cut out your, let's cut out the hat. So you cut out your little hat and your witch and your pumpkin. We'll cut out the hat, it's the easiest. And then you guys can cut these out later and add them to your cards. If you haven't already done it, some of you are so quick.
No, we're not.
Okay. So then the little hat gets attached. I attach the hat to the first one, so it just gets attached right there. You're just going to adhere it to the front. You could use dimensionals, I guess, if you want. Just make sure that you only attach it to the bottom portion. Do not attach it up here. Okay. Your little girl, she has to either be on this one or on the center one because she's so tall. Otherwise, she would be hanging out the card. And you won't get it in an envelope. Okay, so she gets attached here and then the pumpkin. Now watch your pumpkin. If your pumpkin's a tall pumpkin and he's going to hang up over the card, then I would say put your pumpkin down on the first part here. So kind of play with what you have and figure out where the best place to attach them will be. So, and then what I did is I took the little tag that's punched there. You have a little tag that says it's Halloween. The It's Halloween came from a paper pumpkin several years ago. And I just tucked that under her little skirt of her dress so that it's not attached. It's only attached to her dress. It's not attached to the dress and kind of, actually it's attached to the back of her dress so that it doesn't get caught when it's opened up. So it won't get caught here on this. Okay. So that is card number 2.
Oh, very pretty.
It's really pretty simple once you get it going. So, okay, let's move on to card number 3. So card number 3 is, oh, this is one of my favorites. They're all my favorites. They're all cute. Okay, so card number 3 is the Halloween, Happy Halloween to you. So pull out your packet. In your packet, you will find some sticky notes. My goodness. I'm sending you sticky notes so that you remember. No. There are 2 sheets of sticky notes in here. So what I did is I folded this on the second line of the sticky note. And then that way I knew that that would be about 1 inch because I measured it. So you want to fold that over nice and straight. And then you're going to fold it over your Happy Halloween, the card that has Happy Halloween stamped on it at the top, and stick it down real good. And then you're going to do the same thing on the bottom. So fold it on the second line. Get my edge straight, then I know the rest of it is straight. And then just fold that up open it up, put it on the bottom of this one. And in your packet, you have received a surprise, a brush. So this is where you'll need a gray stamp pad. And you should have in your packet also a cloud template. So we're going to make clouds. I think I'm into clouds lately.
Mhm.
So if you guys know how to make clouds, you're way ahead of the game. If you don't, they're not hard to do. So you will notice that your template's not very big because you don't really need a really big template for it. You just need a little something. And so when I use the blending brush, I think all of you on here have done the blending brushes with me, but we'll just do it for those who are going to be watching the recording. So I rub it on there and I'll start off my paper. So I can actually start on my cloud here. And you're just going to swirl it and just brush it in. Pretty dry here. And I want darker clouds at the top. And when that came out nice and dark. And when I do this, I just tip it and just use parts of my die here, my template, whatever. And then I will just, and the witch that's already been stamped, you should be fine to brush over her. She's well dry. She's been sitting for, gosh, what, 3 or 4 days now. So she should be very dry. So you shouldn't have a problem. Are you guys doing the clouds with me? You're quiet. She's on it's a cloudy night for sure. I'm going to go back up here and put a little bit more in there. So the nice thing on the clouds is you can always go back if you don't have enough. Okay, so once you've finished your clouds, I'm just going to go across there and give it some difference. All right. Then you can peel off your sticky notes. Come on. Maybe you can peel them off. Okay, there it goes. And so it leaves a really nice, if you got your note down really snug, it leaves a really nice finish on the top. Look at that beautiful line that it made. So that is what we were after, a cloudy night for our witch. So in your packet, I have already stamped the moon. And so we're just going to pop the moon up. Let's go ahead and put her together before we start putting the moon on. So hang on to your cloud template. You can use that anytime with any color. It's always handy to have. So let's go ahead and put this card together. And just attach that to the mango melody. And then I'm going to attach my mango melody to the front of my card. And the card is basic gray. And then there's a piece of white basic white for you to put on the inside. And if you wanted to stamp something and put it on there, if you have your favorite Halloween reading, that would be a great place for it. Whoa. Okay, my inside is a little smaller. Some of them might be, some of them might not be. I think I got an outside on the inside. Okay, then in here you have, I'm starting to get sticky here. You have a tree, which has been die cut from the stamp set, the Frightfully Cute Bundle, and a fence. And so I'm just going to attach those to the front of my card, starting with my tree and a little bit of adhesive or glue here. And it's easier to use the tape runner for this, to be honest with you. I don't know, we'll put it right there. And where's my tape runner? I'll just attach that. We don't want a tree on our fence. Well, it's fine. There we go. And then I'm just going to pop up my moon with a couple of dimensionals. Did you guys know that today is like worldwide stamping day, or world card making day? Today is World Card Making Day. So you guys are right in with it, making cards today. Okay, so there is our happy Halloween with our little witch and her night clouds. She's flying at night, of course. Oh, I also added a couple little stars. That's a perfect place for some stars. Let's see, what color stars do I want? I think I used the orange ones before, but I think that this time I will use some of these in the middle. And you know, it's funny because they look purple, but if you tip the card, they look, they change colors. They're iridescent. So they kind of pick up whatever color you're wearing. So, okay, so that is card number 3, all done. I like that one. That one's fun. I like making clouds. I think that's what it is. Okay. That's probably something from my childhood. All right, so card number 4 is super simple. Are we ready to move on to card number 4?
Yep.
Yep, okay, good. Okay, let me get it out of here. Get that out of the way. This one is really simple. This one is pretty much based on the designer series paper. So we're going to need another piece of that designer series paper with the skeleton heads on it. I hope I have another sheet. Okay. Let's see. Let's move that out. Move that out. What's on the other side of that? Does anybody know? Ah, I do. I have a sheet. Okay. Oh, it has the stripe on it. Oh, how did I do that? I'm usually more careful to make sure that we don't use one paper too many times. Okay, so on this one, we're going to cut a piece that's 3 inches by 5.5 inches. And if you can, try to cut it so that you have a head left, because you're going to need to cut out a skeleton head. So if I cut it 3 inches, that leaves me, oh, I've got lots of heads over here. Or if I cut it 3 inches on the other side, let's see what happens. I have to decide which head I want to use, huh? I think I'll go this side. So you're going to cut it at 3 by 5.5. No room for error, because I think that's my last piece before I have to open up another package. Okay, so then this one. So this is Highland Heather, because I bought 1 million pieces of Highland Heather. I thought this was a good use for it. So then you have a piece of basic white that's cut at 3 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we're just going to attach this designer series paper to the front of it. Just leaving a little white on each edge. And then we're going to attach that to the front of our card, centering it. And go all the way to the top and the bottom. It's not quite centered, but it's staying there. Staying there now. Okay, in your packet, you have a piece of Highland Heather that's cut at 1 inch by 4 1/4 inches. That is embossed with the star, what's it called? Star-crossed embossing folder. Star-crossed embossing folder. And then you have some black cord, black baker's twine. I'm looking for my black baker's twine. Let me just grab one. So you have a package, a roll of that. And so that's what we're going to use on here. So what I did is I wrapped it around and then I went back. And you know what I think I did? I think I cut it in half and wrapped it because you don't want to pull it too tight. So I cut 2 pieces. Because it's not, you're not putting it around the whole card. You're just putting it around this piece. So I attached it there, wrapped it around. Nice and straight, maybe. And attached it on the other end. And you want it flat, you don't want it to curl. Okay. Then once you've done that, trim it off any extra. And then we're going to attach it with dimensionals to the front. So let's get a couple of dimensionals. And I'm going to put those dimensionals right over that ribbon to help it hold. And I'm going to put one in the middle and one on the other end. Or it's not ribbon, it's baker's twine, huh? And mine is twisted. Of course. Let's see if I can untwist it. At least untwist it on the front. It's not twisted. It just was weird. Okay, so then I'm just going to attach this, and it's probably about 1/3 of the way up, maybe a little more, just not halfway. I didn't do it halfway. You can if you want. Okay, then I took baker's twine and just tied a bow. So I'm just taking 2 strands and tying a bow. Just like that. Trim off the end. I think I need a new pair of scissors. There we go. Okay, and then attach that with a glue dot, which I never found my glue dots this morning. So let's grab a box. I have this cabinet right next to me that has so many handy things in it. And one of them is my glue dots. Okay, so I'm going to attach that with a glue dot. And I'm going to stick a glue dot underneath that, just because when you put a bow on a baker's twine, sometimes, well, that one's stuck, but sometimes they droop, and I don't like a droopy bow. Okay, there we go. Okay, now in your packet, you have a cobweb. I learned something new. A cobweb is a spider web that has been abandoned. Did you guys know that? And that's what cobweb means. It's a spider web that has been abandoned. So I'm hoping it's a cobweb. I had to look up how to spell if cobweb was one word or two, and that's how I learned it. So we have a cobweb that we're going to put on there. And then there's a little greeting, less trick and more treating. And we're just going to attach that to our cobweb. And with that, I'm going to use some tape runner. And then what's on the front of that? Oh, that's where we're going to cut out our little skeleton head and attach it. And I like this little guy right here. I think he's cute. He's looking to the side, so I think I will use him. So I'm just going to cut him out and just leave a little black around the edge. I can't do this with this whole sheet. I have to get rid of some of that. Okay, and then I'm just going to put him on here with probably, let's see, a glue dot. I think a glue dot would be my best bet for him. And I'm going to put that on my greeting here. And then I can put his head there. And there we are. Okay, and then you have a piece of basic white for the inside of your card. Now you could, I have to change papers. You could cut a little piece of this designer series paper. No, you can't. It won't work. Forget that one. Unless you have some extra and you want to cut it and put it at the bottom of this. That would look really cute. I don't. Oh, I do. No, I don't. Mine's not big enough. See, I told you I'm running out of that paper. And we're not done yet. Okay, so this is going to go on the inside of my card. Just like that. Okay. And that is card number 4, project number 4. So, and you could add some stars, some of your bling, if you wanted to. I'm sure you guys can be creative in that area. Okay, so the 5th and final project, you have a packet of these. You have extras, but I only cut one. Something that I want to show you about these is there's 2 different sizes, which is super duper important, guys. There's a larger one and a smaller one. So your smaller, excuse me, your smaller one is your bottom, your box bottom. So this is what we're going to make. And so that your bottom, the bottom of your box is smaller so that the top fits over it. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with, so make sure if you decide to make more of these, make sure that you know the larger one is the one you're going to cut the hole in, or you're going to, it's going to be the top. So you're going to decorate that one. The dies that I used are the ones that bundle with, let's see, they're the seasonal label dies is what I used, but any die you have that is, looks like it will fit. And also another tip, cut from the inside. I know we usually like this cute little frame on the outside, but it's easier to cut from the inside because then you know, the first one I cut down here because I thought, oh, that's where it is. And it was too close to the bottom. When I folded it, it ended up being in the middle of the box. So it just didn't come out right. So either cut from the inside or really watch where you're cutting, I would say. So, okay. All right, let's start with our designer series paper. And you have 10 pieces of That is not for you to snack on. I probably should have told you that at the beginning. That is not for your snack. Although if you decide to eat them, that's okay. So now what we're going to do is you're going to take 5 different papers. I'm going to use some of my leftover scraps that I have here. And I want them 1 inch by 6 inches. So that one would work as long as it's 1 inch wide and 6 inches long. So anything that you want to use, any colors. Any of the patterns. Oh, I do have another one of that one, don't I? Next door. Over there. I think I will use, oh, that one will work. And I'll choose that one, some colorful ones. So pick out some. This one might be a good one. What else do I have in scraps? That's a good way to know. Shake them out. Okay, I have a lot of this and these. Okay, let's see what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I've got 5. I've got 6. So let's, oh, that one's a cute one. That one's a good one. They're colorful. I want something colorful. Okay. I'm not going to use that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I have 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these at 1 inch by 6 inches. And then I'm going to cut them in half. So I have them at 3 by 6. And that'll give me 2 for each because you have 10 pieces of candy. And the pumpkins. You could do them all the same if you wanted. You could cut all of them exactly the same. I just wanted different ones. So, okay. So there's our 6 pieces or 5 pieces. And then they're all 6 inches long. So I'm going to cut them. I can't cut all of them at once. So I'm going to cut them down to 3. So you always need a 3 by 1 in order to cover the Hershey nuggets. Okay, we're all done cutting. Now I need some tearing tape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape, decide which side I want to show, like I want this side to show. So I'm going to tape, put a piece of tape on the back of that, just enough to go across there. So I'm going to do that on every one, and you just need 1 on each one. We'll get our candies ready first. Okay. That's all right. I usually like it going across, but this will be okay. My stripes. If I'm doing stripes, but doesn't matter. It's just a little wrapper to decorate the candy. Okay. Now you're going to peel off the paper, and you're going to wrap these around, joining them in the back, just like that. Okay, so get all your candies ready. Just peeling off those papers. Oops, this is not the side I wanted. Okay, I guess I'm getting a black one. Oh, well, that's Halloween, right? Actually, if I had done that, I could have 10 different papers, huh? So I'm going to try flipping mine so that each one of them is different. Okay, so this is the striped one, and I'm just going to pull this around and it fits right over. That tearing tape works perfect for that. Okay, so this is my little kitty one. So if I peel that off and pull this around, that way I'll have 10 different patterns. Cool. Learn something new today. Aren't we always learning new things? Oops. Okay, and then my other one like that is going to be the green one. Black and white stripe. Does anybody else find this awkward? Okay. These little boxes hold quite a bit of candy. Okay, so this one is going to be my pumpkins. And I'll tell you, even with the tearing tape, sometimes I find that they pop off. But most of the time it holds pretty good. Okay, now I have my candies ready. And let's get our box going. So there's a window sheet that's cut at 2.5 by 3. And we're going to put that on the inside of our box. So I'm just going to put some adhesive. You know, it's not like the candy's going to jump out. Not a candy that is small that would come out. So I'm not too worried about sealing this. If it was a candy that would come out, I would have cut this longer. So clean that off so it doesn't stick. Well, that's not going to clean off. Okay. So let's put our box together. So I'm just going to fold this over, and you can see it already has the tapes on it, which is really super nice. So let's just fold all of our flaps so they're ready to be closed up. Now this is my top. So I'm just going to pull this in and peel my tape off, my 3M tapes. I'm going to peel both of those off. I love that they already put that on there for us. Pull this over, pull this in. It just, you know, you just fold it in. It goes together simple. It's super simple to go together. And you don't have to worry about, did I get it too tight? Did I get it too loose? Because the other box is smaller. Okay, that is our top. Let's put our bottom together. For some reason, this looks bigger to me. Wonder if I have the right one. It is. Okay. Just looks bigger. Maybe because it doesn't have a hole in it. Okay, let's fold that over. That in. Fold the top over and pull it in. Pull it down. Okay, now to put my candies in. I put my candies in going sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I had a hole in the middle, so I put them in that way. And they fit. Oh, you have to put one goes in, let's see, one goes in this way and one goes in this way on that center one. You might have to switch it in there. Just squish it down in there. Okay, candies are in. Let's close up our box. And let's close up our box. There we go. Okay. All of a sudden I'm thinking maybe I did get the wrong box. Okay. Then I took my baker's twine and I cut 2 pieces. Let's see how long. Let's figure this out. Probably not long enough to go around and tie my bow. So I'm just going to figure that's probably long enough. So let me measure that for you. So if you cut 2 pieces that are about 17 inches long, I would say. Okay. Hey, Ron. He doesn't have any idea I'm online. Sorry. And then just come back and tie your bow. Wrap it around. 17 was a little close, but it's very doable. Okay. And then after that, you have in your packet a little greeting here. This shape, the shape for the greeting was cut from those same the same dies that I used for this, which was, I'm not seeing it in my instructions now, of course. Huh. Okay, the seasonal label dies. So that was cut from there. And so I'm just going to attach that with a couple of dimensionals. I wanted to straddle my ribbon, my cord here, so that when it unties, it kind of helps hold it, but it doesn't attach to it. Okay, and then I have, oh, in your packet, you should have a little piece of bling. Let's see. I don't have it in my packet because my packet wasn't the same as yours. But it is the matte black dots. You should have a matte black dot in there. Look around. It might be stuck. Yes. It might be stuck down in your other boxes, but you should have a little matte black dot like this. And that I attached to my spider to make him look like he has his body like that. Looks real. Okay, and then I just finished off by attaching a few of my black stars to the top. Whoops, that did not pick up the glue dot. Let's try it again. Just like that. And that is your project number 5. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, please let me know.